Nazis? Supernatural? Hot chick with two blades attached to her forearms? This could be the one and only BloodRayne, classic in my eyes.
Something.
BloodRayne is third-person action horror game set just before World War II. You take the role of Rain, half human, half vampire. She is looking for her father Kagan to kill him. A vampire killed her family and making her what she is now. On her way, she is recruited from Brimstone Society, secret organization fighting against all supernatural evil. Now Rain is tasked to stop Nazis from acquiring powerful relics. This is as far as I go with the story. In my opinion, it's good. The game is a console port and it's fairly good, but I have few small complaints. The first is there is no mouse control in the menus. The second is in the audio options. There are sliders only for music and effects. It would be nice if there was adjustment for voices. Sometimes Rain is saying something and I cannot understand her. But this is during gameplay, not in the cutscenes. You can find all video options in the launcher when you start the game. BloodRayne is old, but runs really well on modern systems, at least for GOG version. But if you want to play it on 16:9 monitor, check PC Gaming Wiki for that. The controls with mouse and keyboard are absolutely fine, but if you want you can play with the controller, and you can rebind all keys. The gameplay is one part hack and slash and one shooting. Rain have two blades attached to her forearms, and when she goes wild, arms, legs and head starts flying. The game is pretty gory and it's a lot of fun to kill Nazis. You start with few attacks, but soon you will unlock more. But they are not button combinations, they just happen. This means a lot of button mashing. At first I was annoyed that I cannot perform this move more often. But after that I started enjoying the battle system. Simple but fun. You also have chain with hook. The main use is for pulling people or other creatures to drink blood from them. Later in the game you will be using it for hitting enemy. And of course there are weapons corresponding to the time period. Luger pistols, assault rifles, STG-44, shotgun, rifles, Panzerfaust, anti-tank weapon and others. Aiming with them is automatic and Rain can dual wield almost every weapon, which is a badass. When you're facing a boss or a lot of enemies surrounding you, BloodRayne will help you. This is bullet time, but you have entirely new moves and they make tons of damage. You have total control over the movement of Rain. While using the blades you can move around the enemies, avoiding shooting or hitting you. Even when you jump, this is possible. The level design is decent. Maybe half of the game you will be in Nazi base. Of course there are others like swamp, castle and so on, but as a whole they are okay. The good news is they are not entirely linear, they are quite big. To find your way into a level, there is arrow or arrows depending how many targets you have, pointing the direction. You can see them around BloodRayne. When you're getting close to the target, the arrow turns into fuzzy ball. You also have three types of visions. The first is aura. It's useful if you want to see if the target is above or under you. It's a fuzzy ball pointing the direction. The second is extrude vision. It's basically zoom for sniping, but I find it useless. And the third is dilated vision. Everything is slowing down, including you. It's like BloodRayne, but you have your normal attacks. It's very useful for boss fights and getting away from tense situations. The game doesn't have regenerating health, but it has walking health packs, people, mutants and others. When you are low on life, just jump on someone and start drinking their blood. At some point you can even drive a mech, but I don't like that part. The reason is, you can avoid being hit. And speaking of enemies, they are reasonably diverse, but the models are not. You will face vampires, infected people, regular soldiers, elite soldiers, they can block your hook, soldiers with jetpacks and others. The bosses are great, but a few of them are easy because you can stay behind them and kill them. The sound design is really good. Every gun sounds different and you feel the blades slashing through enemies. The soundtrack is also good. Electronic industrial music fitting really well with the action on screen. But I can't say a good thing about the voice acting. Other than Rain, I can't point someone else standing out. The most annoying thing is the lack of in-game checkpoints. You can save your progress in the beginning of the level. This means if you die, you will have to repeat it. Some levels are long and it's frustrating to die at the end of it. When I hear someone talking about old games, BloodRayne is one of the first that always comes to my mind. The graphics and gameplay didn't age very well, but they are not awful. After beating the game once, you probably won't play it again immediately, but it's definitely worth buying. Tons of action, diverse enemy, good level design, great soundtrack, dismemberment of Nazis, good story. I recommend it.
Very attractive.
I'll wear you like lederhosen.